Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Maritime laws for ship channel workers. The maritime laws that apply to your accident and injuries depend on your position within the maritime industry and where you were hurt. You may be covered by the Longshore and Harbor Workers Compensation Act. This federal law entitles most dock and port workers to obtain compensation and disability benefits for injuries sustained while performing work duties. If you are not covered by the Longshore and Harbor Workers Compensation Act after a ship channel accident, call us to discuss the Jonas Act. This law enables sailors and seamen to sue their employers for compensation based on negligence. If you are a seaman and there is evidence that a co-worker, supervisor, or another agent of your employer was careless or reckless while on the job, then you may sue your employer for compensation for your economic and non-economic injuries. The Act also gives you the right to maintain the cure, where include reimbursement for your daily livings and medical expenses. When the accident and your injuries were the result of someone outside of your employer, you may have the right to file a third-party claims. Our Houston Ship Channel injury lawyers will investigate your situation and gather evidence on your behalf. We may be able to use this as evidence to establish in court that this other individual or business was negligent and therefore liable for compensating you for your injuries. And then next, about what does a maritime injury lawyer do? If you have been in the maritime industry for at least a little while now, you are aware that there is a process you have to follow to recover compensation after a work injury. You may even know the process differs based on whether you are a seaman, a longshoreman, or harbor or dock workers. You are now hearing that you should contact a maritime injury lawyer if you have been injured on the job. But what does a maritime injury lawyer do? How can such an attorney help an employer like you? Building your case. To put it simple, a maritime injury lawyer helps injured maritime workers recover compensation after they have been hurt on the job. But this line of work is not simple. When a client comes to us to ask for help, we determine what kind of case they have. For instance, if a harbor worker were hurt in a crane accident, they will likely be covered under the Longshore and Harbor Workers Compensation Act. That means we are dealing with what amounts to a federal workers' comp claim rather than a lawsuit. This changes our approach. Instead of building a case that highlights the employer negligence, we focus on showing the severity of the victim injuries to ensure full compensation. On the other hand, if a seaman who was injured on an unseaworthy vessel comes to us, we will likely build a case under the Jonas Act. This means we will file a lawsuit against the victim employer to recover compensations. Our approach will then focus on the employer's negligence and how it caused our client injuries. And then next about proving your maritime claim. You know you were hurt, you know what happens, but do you know how to prove it? An experienced maritime injury lawyer does. That is a big part of what the Chris firm does for clients every day. For instance, we seek maritime settlements for clients by gathering evidence that shows the accident, such as photos and videos. Presenting evidence that show the unseaworthy facial or other negligent conditions. Handling all legal paperwork to completion and on time. Drafting documents to present to the court of opposing party. Negotiating fair and full settlement agreement. Fight for what you deserve in court if necessary. Your maritime injury attorney will know which evidence to gather to show that improper training or an unseaworthy vessel caused your injuries, and we know how to maximize the compensation you receive. And then about common ship channel injuries. If you were hurt within the Houston ship channel or at another port, you might experience a common Gulf Coast channels worker injury, such as lacerations, disfigurement, soft tissue injuries, bone fractures, cruise limbs, traumatic amputations, traumatic brain injury, and etc. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to give like, comment, and subscribe.